we've been talking about this quarterback competition, and we've been talking about this thing with the quarterback since Shedeur Sanders has gotten here. We've talked about the opportunity to earn the opportunity to win reps. We've talked about how great it was for everybody involved that the Cleveland Browns are now having training camp where guys have competition. The Browns have brought in 47 or some odd people. And shout out to the Browns, Nathan Shedeur, and those guys over there at Cleveland Brown Daily. I like the fact that you guys are showing as much as you guys can show in your situation over there in Berea, to get people to see the footage, right? I think that's a very important thing, that people get an opportunity to see the throws. And because you guys did put that footage out there, and Bo Bishop, Nathan Shedeur, Cleveland Browns Daily, they had pretty much every single rep for Shedeur Sanders and Dalen Gabriel. They had the guys out there throwing football. They're not going to show 7-on-7 and things like that. But for those who did see it, and for those who have not checked it out, please go out and check this out. And the reason I'm encouraging you guys to do this is this. See, nowadays in the world of media, truth isn't the truth. Nowadays, everything is up to interpretation. And way too often, we let people tell us what they're interpreting, and they don't know what they're talking about. When you have closed-door practices, and when you have practices where only a certain few people is watching this stuff, and they come back and give you all of these directions, and you're starting to look back around, and you're saying, whoa, what you mean? Like, what we doing here? What do you mean so-and-so looked good, or so-and-so looked bad, or so-and-so was slow, or so-and-so didn't know what he was doing? You start looking around and you start asking the people, well, how do I know you telling the truth? Because I'm not seeing the same things that you are seeing. And the great opportunity that you give other people is the thing that I always tell you on this channel when we talk here in the barbershop. This is a special place. You know why it's special? I encourage each and every one of you to come up with your own thought processes and ideas. I encourage you, you don't got it. That's the best part about the barbershop. I don't cut you off because I don't agree with you. I don't call you an idiot. Some of y'all don't. Some of y'all might not be as smart as me. I'm playing with you, right? But I encourage you over here to do critical thinking on your own. Watch the tape. Develop an opportunity to watch tape. Do what you can to get what you can get, and then formulate your own opinions, thoughts, and whatever you're gonna do. And I think you're gonna need to do that during this competition, because right now people is already moving the goalposts. We talked about how great competition is. We talked about how good it is that Shedeur Sanders has an opportunity as a 5th-round pick to get an opportunity to go against Dalen Gabriel. We talked about Dalen Gabriel getting an opportunity to show what he has to do, and so on and so forth for Flacco and Kenny Pickett. But I had to argue on Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. Shout out to my comrades. But it's all about the energy. I don't know if they got the same energy as me. Can you tell me what's going on with the energy here? I don't understand why it's, hey, competition is good. This is going to be great. And then right when you get to something, it's, it don't count. What you mean it don't count? Why don't it count? Let me show you. Let me just set the table as I try to talk to you guys about what it is that we doing already. I'm just going to peep game. Just look, I'm just setting the table. I got the receipts. All right, here we go.
Quarterback competition starts
we back.
Like tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like this is Dalen Gabriel versus Shedeur Sanders. This is who controls the huddle, who gets out of the huddle, who takes care of the football, who understands the playbook, who knows the plays, and they're gonna get one-on-one coaching and a lot from Reese, from Coach Stefanski. There's going to be, you got Dylan Sampson, you got Quinshon Junkins. There are position battles that are happening right now.
But how with the running backs? I mean, what are you learning from the running backs? There's no tackling, right?
Oh, he's fast. No, listen, man. we want to see a couple of things. First of all, we want to see how you catch the ball out of the backfield.
We've seen all that with these guys.
We want to know. We need to.
Now we're going to see it in practice.
No, we need to see it again. We need to
see this. This is my problem. This is my problem. We do this stuff way too much. I don't like to listen. At my heart, the core of who I am, I'm a guy who plays football. I'm a guy who played football since the time he was a young kid. I understand what the process of football is, and for people to be running around here talking, and I know this tongue in cheek, and they weren't really, I ain't serious. G. Bush, what are we going to really learn? Listen, this is the attitude that gets the Cleveland Browns smoked every single year. We do this every single year, and our media does this way too much. We got to start being serious deliverers of what it is that this game of football is about. What do you mean, what are we going to learn from them? It's like when you go, this is the problem. They move the goalpost. They tell you, think about this. They tell you that Shedeur Sanders falls in the draft because he wasn't serious. They tell you Shedeur Sanders fell in the draft because he didn't take what he was doing seriously. He really wasn't taking the interviews correctly. He was arrogant. He was doing all these things. He needs to learn and be humble and be professional. How are y'all going to do that? And then say when these individuals get there, they go through practice, they're out there, that none of that means anything? So your narrative don't mean nothing. If it don't matter, you can't make it matter when you only want to make it matter. The situation is when you got guys out there that's fighting, that you need, that the Cleveland Browns are trying to establish new guys, new Nick Chubbs of the world. We trying to find a quarterback. We trying to build better habits. We talked about Deshaun Watson having his position given to him last year. Remember? We talked about Flacco and why we didn't want competition and all this other stuff and all these high and mighty, huge thoughts. But yet and still, every single time we get to a point where it's competition, it's, well, we know that they're fast. We're not learning anything. All of it matters. So if you don't believe it matters in one area, don't start taking stuff in consideration. You got to take the totality of everything we're talking about. And when you're out there and you're out there fighting for jobs, they're fighting for reps right now. So my thing is it a competition or is it not? I'm confused. You'll continue watching. Let's continue rolling.
No,
You tell him, G.
we need to see it again. We don't care.
I'm with Bull.
We don't care what you did in your college, bro. Strip that away.
I care what you do in practice.
Hey, listen, and practice just started. Now, listen, this is what we're going to get to.
Now, mind you, this is wild. But then they'll say that Myles Garrett don't practice hard enough. Then they'll say, come training camp, oh, these guys don't have good practice habits. I heard he take plays off. I heard he's not being a great leader. Which is it? You care about practice or you don't care about practice? I'm telling you about these goalposts, man. The media decides what they want to talk about and when they don't. I'm just showing you the mirror and the proof.
The Browns are going to make a quarterback decision. The first part of it is
This weekend?
Can you decide who's better, Dylan Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders, and who's going to be getting reps? One of these dudes ain't going to be getting reps like that. Like
They better both be getting
somebody's
reps.
going to get a first bite at the apple when it comes
Joe
to this.
Flacco doesn't need reps. He's 40 years old.
We get that, but that part counts too.
Yeah.
Under no circumstances does training camp not count for these Cleveland Browns. This is an evaluation year.
I agree with what you just said. Training camp, 100%.
Yeah.
But to me, the lights don't go on tomorrow.
Yeah.
This weekend, what are the storylines? You nailed it. If one of them gets hurt.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. See? We already reducing it. That's exhibit A. I'm just letting y'all know how it works. We already reducing it. There's no story, nothing to see here for people. Nothing to see. Nothing that they do on today or this weekend gives us anything. So how is it that it's a competition then? How is it a competition? How do you derive meaning out of anything that they're doing? I find it very crazy and difficult that we stand on top of tables and talk about who's good and who's not and what they've done and how and why they fell to the fifth round. But all of a sudden, when you get the kid right here and we start talking about football and we're looking at the games, nothing matters now all of a sudden. There's nothing going to be seen here that's going to change the direction of what's going on. I'm just saying. Oh, wait, man, listen. Put in the listen, this is why it ain't gonna be, it's not gonna be, it ain't gonna be comfortable. But like I said, everybody ain't gonna jump for joy on your platform. Everybody ain't gonna be super happy about what you're talking about. But the reality of the situation is these are stone cold facts. We in this town, especially our media, we're not taking things serious enough. We just not. We're not. I'm sorry. We're not taking it serious enough. And the reason I say this is because it's too much of the laughing and camaraderie and playing around with it and this don't matter, but this matter, but it only matter on this day and it matters on this day. Here's what matters. I'm gonna tell you like this, and I think it's a bad job. I think we're lazy as hell in our sphere, in the media. We got guys that is supposed to be telling you what they're seeing. You got people that's supposed to be delivering what it is that they're seeing on a daily basis. These are supposed to be experts, but we've turned into entertainment. And the reality of this situation is you can't tell half the time whether or not these people is actually involved in the game or like the game. I don't see enough people watching no film. I think it's disgusting work that there's more people on the internet, the guys that want to do this type stuff, that is watching film than the guys that's really in the lights. Cats ain't watching enough film. Cats is not watching enough games. People is not immersing themselves into the football concepts. People is going on generalities, narratives, and all that other stuff, and they're supposed to deliver to you who it is balling and who's not balling. And we're going to see right here in these next couple of clips, these people not plugged in like you're supposed to be plugged in. And the better, by the way, the better the Cleveland Browns get, the better the team is, the harder it gets to do this job. Let me tell you why. Because now, it's not about whether or not you could just say, oh, let me invoke it. The easiest thing in the world is to invoke emotion and tell people that they're garbage. The Browns are garbage. It's the easiest thing to get views and invoke emotion when you say the Browns are garbage 1,000 times. But it's harder to explain to somebody why somebody is good. It's harder to break down a game. Think about how difficult it is to cover a team. I talk to Darren all the time. Shout out to Darren Smith over at Kansas City. He covers the Kansas City Chiefs. And you know what I tell him? I said, it's more difficult being a person that understands the nuances of the game and to be able to articulate that and to break it down, because Patrick Mahomes is always good. The Chiefs are always good. How do you stand out? Negativity is always going to get better clicks, more results, more emotion. But how do you sit there and engage an audience on somebody is good, right? You really got to know your stuff. And what happens is we fall back onto, let me just be emotional and do narrative football, because that's the only thing we've done for 30 years. Watch this. Let me set my thesis statement up. I'm going to give you a couple of people here in a minute. And I like to, listen, I got a problem with these people, but you know how I give it up on a barbershop. Listen, we can have a conversation about why it is that I feel like I said what I said, but I stand on business. Watch this. Instead of people telling you exactly what they saw, we standing on vague stuff. We can't be vague with this. Let me show you this. This was Mary Kay. She came out and she had a situation where she was talking about what she saw day one. Everybody want to say day one, who won the battle, who day one, day two, day whatever. Let's see who was winning. Let me play this right here. Let me just notice what she says. I want to hear what's going on the field. I don't want to hear none of this other stuff.
Hi, this is Mary Kay Cabot from Cleveland.com after day one of Browns rookie minicamp. Of course, all eyes were on the quarterbacks today. We watched Shedeur Sanders and Dillon Gabriel out there throwing the ball in 11-on-11s, in 7-on-7s. And the key thing to note, I thought, today was the fact that Dillon Gabriel went first in those team drills and those 7-on-7s. We knew that was going to happen because, of course, they drafted him ahead of Shedeur, who they passed over 6 times in this draft. So basically what's going to happen here.
See, that caught me. Out of the takeaways that we had on the football field, The takeaways, I want to know what the throws was. I want to know what the accuracy was. I want to know what the 5-step, the 7-step looked like. I want to know all the above letter D. I want to know who did better taking snaps under center. I want to know who got the ball out on time. I want to know the coaching, the little small nuances that the coaches said on the field. But here's the thing. Why are we still mentioning that the Cleveland Browns passed on Shedeur Sanders 6 times? That has nothing to do with what we talking about today. Again, if we're going to make this thing about competition, make it about competition. Make it about your merits on the field. Make it about what you did today. Make it about what you threw and how you threw and what the results were. Not that somebody passed over you 6 times. And frankly, that's water under the bridge. Why are the Cleveland Browns still talking about and stoking fans and fire about why Shedeur dropped? That is an old commentary. The dude is here. He's playing. He threw passes. What did they look like? That's my problem. We still in 2 weeks ago. How are we in 2-week mode when guys is playing? That goes to show you that you're more caught up in narratives. You're more caught up in what you're thinking about somebody than what you're really looking at. When I'm looking at these two dudes, I'm looking at throws. I want to see who's balling, who's not. I don't care how many times the Browns passed on Shedeur Sanders. And that shouldn't be the takeaway. Your takeaway is Dylan Gabriel went first. What did he look like? You tell me, did you see, are you hearing what happened on the field? I'm going to ask you, maybe I'm stupid.
Is that Shedeur is going to have to keep climbing up that depth chart if he actually wants to get into the starting lineup at some point. And when the veterans are joined on Monday, when they have to get out there with Kenny Pickett and Joe Flacco, of course, it's going to become even harder for these young guys. I actually think at that point, the depth chart, the imaginary depth chart, will be Kenny Pickett, then Dylan Gabriel, then Joe Flacco, and then Shedeur.
No, can't do it. Can't. Nope. Sorry. Nope. I'm sorry. Let me get back to this. And hold on. Dylan Gabriel is ahead of Flacco? Stop the cap. This is what I'm talking about. How did you make that up? Who told? I've been trying to keep it real. I've been trying to keep it up. Stop it. Everybody, I get it. Everybody want to make up for the 3rd round pick and, Dylan Gabriel, the Browns actually had him the number 1 player on the board. Look at that. He's nowhere near ahead of Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco could be 50 and he's not ahead of him. I don't understand what kind of stuff people trying to teach you and trying to shove you. There is no way in the world, if you are watching film work, that you have Dylan Gabriel ahead of Shedeur Sanders. Period, point blank. No prognosticator has it. Not Mel Kiper, not Todd Boucher. If y'all love them, none of them had him. People said Dylan Gabriel. No disrespect to Dylan Gabriel. But we can't keep doing that. All of a sudden, Dylan Gabriel's ahead of Shedeur Sanders and Flacco. And I don't know where Kenny Sunshine Pickett came from. I don't know if they just he sat and got this golden arm in Philadelphia. Stop the cap with that too. Everybody in this town been trying to sell me on Kenny Pickett. He's the one that better earn this spot. What are you guys talking about? Joe Flacco got the best footwork in terms of running play action. Joe Flacco got the best arm. Joe Flacco done won games at the highest level. Joe Flacco took you to the playoffs. Let's not act like that ain't happened. But my point is this, man. Where's these imaginary depth charts being made up at? I thought it was a competition. We talking competition, and we ain't even heard nobody but what they doing on the field. We don't even. You done made up like so. Let me this is Exhibit A. We sit here. I gave you people. What are we going to learn in minicamp? Why would we even learn anything? Nothing happens there is going to really mean anything. Exhibit B. What I took away from camp, Dylan Gabriel's in the lead. That's what I took away from it. No throws, no nothing. Ain't nobody talking about none of that. Let's get a good Exhibit C. This might be the most egregious. This might be the most egregious. Let's get to it.
I asked the coach, okay, did you do that? How did you select who went first? Was it just draft status probably? He would not answer. He would not answer.
He did not.
He said, Joe, don't read too much into that. I said, well, tomorrow, will it be reversed then? And he said, you'll have to come and find out. But they each got equal snaps. It's just that Gabriel went first, Shedeur second. I got to tell you, I thought Dylan Gabriel looked pretty good.
Well, yeah, so let's get to that because everybody's going to ask. And I think it's fair for us to talk about this. Kevin Stefanski said they're competing. So if they're competing, that means someone wins and someone loses.
So this is the problem with it. The competition level is this. This is why listen, listen, I'm on these platforms talking this talk right now. Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show, there is no reason you do not need to be over at Berea. No reason at all. I don't know who I got to talk to. You know the folks. The powers that be understand what we're talking about right here. If it's going to be a quarterback competition and it needs to be a competition and there needs to be competition and people is delivering what it is, I don't want to sit here and hear nobody saying what they thought they saw. I want to see it myself. I don't know what you got to do. Let's get it done. We big enough. The barbershop big enough. We got enough followers. Big Dog's coming to camp this year. I want to see it. I don't want to know what he know. I don't want to know with no disrespect to any beat guy. I want G. Bush, the dude that put his hand in the ground, to see exactly what's going on. Because these gaslighters will do this to you. I saw this guy being great. Oh, you did? I don't trust your eyes, dog. So whoever I got to speak to, hit me up. You know where I'm at. Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show needs to be in Berea, period, point blank. We the biggest in the game. Who got more subscribers? We the biggest in the game. When you want the truth, you come over here. We need to be in the building. If we didn't see it, it didn't happen. It's time out for this. See, they be having gatekeepers. It's too many gatekeepers in the game. I don't want to know what you know. I want to see it with my own two eyes. Let me decipher from what I'm seeing. Talk to me. Out here playing around with us, bro. There needs to be an account for some of this stuff, and we can't be accountable if I'm sitting here waiting for people to tell me what they think they saw, and I don't like your education level when it comes to the game of football. That's why you don't get nothing. That's why. No. I'm not taking nobody's word for it. Can't do it. We need to get on it. We need to be there. I need to be in the building. I ain't got to see 7-on-7. I ain't got to eat birthday cake with nobody. But no. I need to see it. We need to figure that out. Something. We need to get this thing together. 310. Listen, there's 1,500 people in here. Say salute. But let's keep it rolling.
Loses. Who won day one?
Well, I think if you took the names away from their jerseys and just looked at number 5 and looked at number 12.
Again, stop saying that dumb you know what. Why are you keep talking about the names on the back of the jersey, bro? That tells me what you're thinking about already. That shows me what you're talking about already. Well, if you take the names off the back of the jersey, what does that mean? They both play for the Cleveland Browns. They both play. Stop. Oh, listen, we play two. It's always a damn culture war. Stop it. You take it off the back of the jerseys.
you'd say, oh, that's why they drafted number 5 before number 12. I mean, he just throws the ball better, at least today. This is a practice. It's
Cap. Unacceptable. This is why you need to have cameras there so you can see it. Put in the comment section, how many of you people were actually watching that feed that Bo Bishop and Nathan Zagura had at Cleveland Browns Daily? How many of you actually were sitting there watching those throws as you watched them throw all the throws in intermediate game? What I was like you. What I did is I listened to this and I had to come back to watch, and I had to watch it again and say, did I lose my mind? Because I could have swore Shedeur Sanders was putting the ball on the rope. I could have swore that I seen Dylan Gabriel. He threw the ball well too, but this dude done put the dude in the Hall of Fame. He done put him. I see why they took him third. Stop the cap. You're the same dude talking about you didn't like Dylan Gabriel, and you're okay. Let's keep it rolling. I'm putting it in there. Put a 1 if you watched the throws like we've seen.
a first practice.
Yeah.
And it's not a narrative I'm trying to set. It's my observation. A lot of spin on the ball, tremendously accurate. I mean, not only completions, but right on the hands, decisive in his footwork. He just seemed to me like he knew what he wanted to do with the ball every time he took a snap. Now, Shedeur was not inaccurate. Don't get me wrong. He could layer the ball into the secondary, but he was very accurate the way he does it. Now, the way he does it is just like his pro day workout. There's not a lot of spin on the ball.
Stop the cap. This is why you got to have receipts. Here's what we're going to do. This ain't no zip. I couldn't even see that ball. Run it back. Run it back, G. Bush. I couldn't even see the ball. This ain't no zip. That's a dart. Run it back. Where is this lack of zip? On the goal line, tight space, tight window, touchdown. What are we talking about? And that is by your own company. Your own company put that out. Shout out courtesy of ESPN Cleveland for that one. Lack of zip? The ball just doesn't get. There's 3 or 4 clips floating around the internet right now. We're talking about, dang, this is. Go back and watch anybody who's talking about it, anybody who said it, anybody who looked at it was like, listen, Shedeur was balling. We got him winning day one. Everybody. But yet and still, the narrative machines is alive and well, aren't they? Aren't they not? Are they not? Let's go ahead. Let's just run that back again. Let's run that back again. Let me see what lack of zip it is here. Look at that. Look at the Capicola pepper. Wow. Man, come on, man. Let me get this out of here. Let me remove this. This is wild. This is wild. And I'm going to get to your comments too. 460 comments in here. Hit the like button. This is my point. No. It's already setting up. You're not going to, I told you, you're not going to be able to get this off. And sometimes I'm not even saying people is doing stuff on purpose, but the level of bias that people what it almost make you want to do, it make you want to root for the dude more harder. It make you want to root for him harder. Because there's these imaginary things, and it's like, yo, we sitting here. I done heard 3 people, 4, 5, 6 people sit up here and talk about, oh, it's a competition. Is it really a competition? In your mind, no, it's not. We didn't have people say it don't count. We didn't have to say, well, that's why they passed on him 6 times. Well, that's why they took him number 3. And later on in the conversation, he said, he looks like a mini Russell Wilson. I said, this is unacceptable, bro. This is why do your own research, do your own stuff, and figure it out. When you got 6, 7 people, and it's like, they like the Supreme Court, Like 7 people, Supreme Court, they get to go watch the games and go see what's going on. I don't care about that. Listen, no. Here's what we're going to do in 2025. I don't take what you're saying just because you there. Don't mean that you know what's going on. Let's keep it pushing. 5:15, 1,700 people here on a Saturday. Can we get to it? Appreciate you. Let's get to it, man. Hit that like button for your boy. If you came for Cavs talk, we're going to get to the Cavs. We're going to get to the Cavs. We're going to get to this real quick, though. I couldn't wait to come on here. This is unacceptable. Talking about there wasn't no spin on the ball. It was like the pro day. What are you talking about, bro? What are you talking about? What? Let me get this. I can't even get my banner down. Let me get this. Let's get to it. Patrick Williams. Cleveland fan base has adopted their loser mentality and then complaining about it. Shedeur is a winner. They need to start opening their minds and start believing that they can win. Hey, listen, here's what it is, Patrick. We're not asking them to believe. Listen, here's what I started. Here's my mentality. My job is not to talk to the people that gonna do that. That ain't where my base is. My base, I learned, talk to the people you're gonna talk to. If you want to be enlightened, and if you happen to hear what we talking about, you say, well, I'm gonna go check him out. I have no, them losers with all this non-narrative football stuff, that this don't count, that don't count, all that stuff. I don't conglomerate with them. I don't eat birthday cake with them. I don't be hanging out at bars with them. I don't do that because it's counter to what I believe the game of football is about. It's counter to with guys that I go back and talk to, and we know what it is. That's why it ain't a prerequisite for you to be around the game of football. It ain't a prerequisite for you to play, to understand, and have a passion about it. But it's something about football when you running your tail off at 9 a.m. or 6 a.m, or when you done beat your elbows up, you dislocated the finger, and you're trying to write, and you got injuries when you're older. It's something about that endears you to the people that have been through that. So I respect it, as colleagues. But at the end of the day, I'm not trying to convince them of nothing. They don't understand what we talk about. Anyone that tells me that they aren't trying to start a narrative actually is trying to start a narrative. All cap. Thank you. I'm not saying a narrative. I'm saying what I saw. Now, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to see it myself too. This is why it's important, because people will gaslight you and make you feel like, hold on, I had to go back and look. Now think about it. What if nobody was presenting this side of the argument? What if nobody was like, hold on, well, actually, here goes in a picture, here goes a touchdown that the man just threw, where it had velocity, it was a strike, he knew where he wanted to go with the ball. He said, why is that? That's the part of it. When you got one direction, when you got one voice, when you got everybody saying the same thing, and you like, hold on, bro, what are you talking about? Who told you that? Come on, man. KA, respect, I appreciate you. BZ World. Thank God I found an ally in Cleveland. Mary Kay, Tony, and a few other Cleveland is tearing down Shedeur very quietly. Glad you peeping to play. Oh, hey. I told him earlier, this is their problem. You're not going to get this off. You're not going to get it off. You're not going to get it off. Like, you're trying to, you try to make it like it was first about the fact that it wasn't his talent level. It was the fact that he wasn't polite, or he was arrogant and all this other stuff. Then we brought Boogie on. Shout out to Boogie Knight. Then we brought Boogie on, and he came in here and eloquently, the dude that is around him says eloquently, nah, man, he ain't never been about that. Then draft night, he took that out like a G. I was hot that they pranked him. He was like, let's keep it pushing. Dude always been humble. So now it's, well, the competition don't really count. This rookie minicamp, what we going to learn from that? Really? Really? Then it's, well, listen, they passed on him 7 times. Why is that relevant? Tell me how is that relevant? We are the only organization in the league that consistently is talking about draft night. Who gives a damn about draft night? Get the you know what over it. We still stuck in draft night. It's clown behavior. It is. You're not doing your job. You're sitting here talking about draft night. What is we doing today? That's my challenge. Say I'm wrong. Think about this. If G. Bush came on here today and was talking about, think about it in the opposite way. If I came on here and was still talking about Shedeur Sanders and how it was so dirty that he didn't go over in the second round or the third round or the fourth round, my whole fan base would be like, G. Bush, I love you, brother, but shut up. Shedeur Sanders is here right now. He's practicing. Talk about what's on the field. They would tell me that in a heartbeat. And I respect them for it. Stop all that. We ain't no half-stepping. But why is we still reporting on that? Why was we still mentioning when you was drafted? At the end of the day, talk about what happened on that football field today. Can we do that? Somebody give me something. Somebody give me something. Let me get to these comments. I'm gonna get as many of these in as I can. Look at these ones. Look at these ones. I said, bro, I had to go back and look. Texas truth. Y'all ignore these trolls. Y'all know they really don't watch. We saw enough practice live yesterday. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, Dark Shogun Raul. I don't know what kind of name that is. I shout out to you, bro. You probably said I was triggered about Deshaun Watson too, or Odell Beckham Jr. Or I was triggered because at the end of the day, Nick Chubb's not coming back. Come on, you gotta listen. You have to have something stronger than that. Triggered is not he's triggered. Man, I'll always stay with the full clip and chamber. Don't play with me. Create that fake news. Oh, we know that. Yeah, we know that. We know that. Hit them likes. You know, he ain't watched that. He ain't watched that practice. Bezo. He about to lie so hard. I seen the practice. 12 looked better, way better, more accurate than Gabriel. Has to pull a lot on the ball. Sanders throws effortlessly, and Gabriel literally had many bad throws. I mean, I didn't think Dylan Gabriel played bad. He had a couple of footballs hit the ground, but I had to go back and rewatch it when they talk about it was all, hey, young Russell Wilson. Ball didn't hit the ground. Man, boy. Look, I'm just saying. Everybody watched it. Everybody saw it. Look, I'm just saying. You find me somebody in the mix. You find me somebody in the mix that was, I said, listen, I said, put the one in the comments. If you saw the feed and said, what is they talking about? Let's just go through them. What are we talking about here? It was, I was looking for it. Put the ones in the, I say, yo, what, this is what we're doing? Literally, there's literally an hour video of practice, and that dude gave us that. But it's just me. Maybe it's just G. Bush. You can't, you must be just doing stuff. My thing is this, man. Let's get to the football. Let's get to the ball. Let's get to the football, man. Let's get to what's happening on the field, man. Let's start getting to like, come on, man. I'm tired, and you know what I'm not gonna let happen, and I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to push back. I'm not doing this every single year. I'm not gonna do this thing where y'all find a person and rail on them the whole time. You're not gonna find a person. You guys been doing the same stuff for 6 years. 6. We just went over it with Myles Garrett. Y'all find somebody. Well, Myles, he flipped his car. Myles doesn't want to be. Myles and Deshaun and Baker and come on, man. And Johnny and all right, man. Let's get back to it. Let me see this. From watching the live feed and different camera views, you can clearly see the difference in arm talent between Shedeur Sanders and Gabriel. It's really not close. And I come away with this stuff, and I come away looking at it. And what I do is I try to formulate it and put it in a way that we can digest it, because people get so upset. People get so upset. And people talk about the R word, where we talk about race is involved. Let me tell you this. One of the reasons that I formulate my opinion articulately and I try to talk about certain things is because, and I've talked about this on UCSS, one of the most difficult stigmas to ever get around is when you use race. And I say as a predominantly as a black man in a predominantly white male dominated media, I always recognized that there was a level of power in my words. I'm very slow to call anybody racist. I'm very slow to use that as a term against people, because I understand how tough it is for somebody that's the scarlet letter, right? And for me as a person, I try to live a certain type of way that I try to really live where my words mean something. So if I say it, there's people that's going to really roll with it and rock with it. And so what I do is I try to always tell people I'm never going to throw that word around lightly, because I understand, to me, it's just like essay. When you're talking about assaulting a female, that's why I'm serious about that too, because I understand what the stigma is around it. I think more closely is this. We're old, we're outdated, and we're antiquated. You have to renew. The Bible talks about it all the time, renewing your mind. As a person, you have to renew your mind. You have to understand that times change, people change, attitudes change. And a lot of times that we talk about with these athletes and why people don't get it, there's a disconnect. There's a widening gap between Americans who feel like, I love sports, I grew up on it, but the elephant in the room is these guys is making more money than I'll ever see. Some people just really straight up feel the only reason you got what you got is because you was big, you strong, and you fast, and they don't respect it. There's a lot of times people don't like the way people go about it. They just don't understand culture. They don't understand why you have to like rap music, or why people rap, or why you wear loud music, or why you got jewelry. They just don't understand it. They don't have nobody they know wears that type of jewelry. They don't know nobody that listens to that type of music. And at the end of the day, it's something that's unknown, it's foreign, they can't relate to it, and it makes people uncomfortable. But that's the point about society and culture. In society and culture, that's the point of having diversity. It's the point of everybody being different but equal. Everybody got a different place, and you have to have people that understand that culture. And the reality of the situation is, in this city, in this industry, there is, and I'll say it all the time, there is no reason why there isn't more diversity in all areas of the game. All of them. That's why I'm a staunch defender of Mary Kay. I'm a staunch defender of Didi. I believe in the fact that they have a voice, and I believe the voice is important. The reality of this situation is sometimes when you don't have people who can represent a specific way or a thought process and do it in a way where it's non-threatening and they just gonna keep it real, then you have people who are saying, who will find it's not that there's no difference between, there is a difference, right? Let's get it right. Like there's allegations with Deshaun Watson, there's allegations, but there's no different from the way that they talked about Odell Beckham Jr. and Shedeur Sanders. When Odell Beckham Jr. got here, he doesn't understand us. What do you mean he don't understand us? What do you know how many often I heard that? Oh, he's just too famous. He's just too famous. I mean, he's so famous that Baker he feels, like he has to throw him the ball. He's in awe. You're like, bro, that ain't how it works. So what I'm saying is, when we talk about these quarterbacks and when we talk about the difference between them, one of the problems we're going to have is, can you identify and articulate why it is that these guys are different, similar, and what they do in the field? And if you can't do that, what are we here for? For watching, so yeah, shout out to Frank. I appreciate you so much. F Tank 58, sorry. J614 says, what's worse is that the media is in the town or the team you drafted doing this to you. Shaking my head. Really be your own sometimes. What you mean sometimes? It's just all of them. I was just on Twitter the other night, going back and forth, arguing with people about Imani Bates. I say, bro, I don't understand. Y'all got this flippant attitude of where I don't know if it's the mentality of it's like they talk about you like you're a hardened criminal, or he done stole somebody's life, or he's a this and I'm like, bro, like he's a dude in your own city who used to be the #1 player in the entire country over all these dudes. He obviously is getting 50 a game almost in the G League. I'm not saying he needs to come start over Evan Mobley. I said, hey, develop him and give him an opportunity. People, and they laugh and joke like it's like, yo, are you guys doing this in other cities? I mean, because it seems here we are our own worst enemy. We cannibalize our own players. And let's be clear, it's not like we ain't been doing it. Like they booed, last year they booed Deshaun Watson. But they booed Tim Couch too. You think about it though. Like they booed Tim Couch. He's a whole different. What inside of us makes us do that to our own cats? To our own team that you root for? I'm just food for thought. Just asking. Then you come away. I thought that was poetic. I thought it was like, what are we doing? I'm looking at the man in the mirror. And then Patrick says, man, grossy on crack. Oh, you're crazy. Let's see. Hey, the fact that Cleveland moves their goalposts on their own young players is diabolical. Let's see. We'll get one more. We'll get one more in here. I got another one. I feel it. I feel it really sad that Shedeur Sanders has to go through this, and the young man trying to live his dream tore down before he even gets a chance. So freaking sad. But here's the thing though. Here's what I liked about this, and I put a bow in this as we keep going. He has the opportunity, and real recognizes real. We saw what it was. We saw what it is, and he's still gonna get to the opportunity. And I've always said, what God got for you, can't nobody take it. No man can take that away. There's only a couple of things that you can control in your life: how hard you work, your attitude that you have, and your drive, and your belief, and your faith. If you can't deal with it, nobody can take that at all. Nobody can take that. I used to be angry as heck. How come I don't get my opportunity? How come I don't get my chance, man? I feel like I'm just as good as these guys. I feel like I'm the best to do it. I feel like I'm the best on the microphone ever to do it. You know, my mentor told me, he said, hey, this is an individual race. Go out there and deliver your passion to the people, develop a fan base, and the rest will take care of itself. You're not fighting against them. Whatever God got for you, he got for you. And Shedeur Sanders got the talent. He got the people around him. And I always say the difference between him and Deshaun Watson is this. Whether y'all know it or not, and this is no disrespect and none of that, the best thing that Shedeur Sanders has is a father. As a black man, you don't know. Shout out to my father. We give a shout out to Mother's Day. My mom and dad been married forever. Like, had 3 kids, both college graduates. He went to HBCU. He graduated college in the 70s. And the best thing that ever happened in my life, and it's a cheat code, because every one of my friends and my family members, they didn't have no dads. And my dad, you know what he did? He made sure everybody else out there was taken care of. He was starting baseball teams in the hood when nobody can get no funding. He was going around picking kids up for practice. He was going around taking kids home, making sure that they was eating, right? And to see that example, that means that when I get into the game, you can't tell me nothing. You can't say I'm not no gangbanger. I know who I am. I got self-esteem. And the best thing in the world I can say about my father is that, look, I never had to worry about where my dad was when he was coming back to the house. Ever. I never had to worry about nothing with him and my mom and dad is arguing. Never. So that's a big confidence boost to somebody when you're going through adversity. And look, Prime done told him, you're going to go through some adversity. It may not work out here. But the one thing I know he got is a foundation and a base. And at the end of the day, when you have that as an individual and you have that and you still currently have it, I don't got to look outside nowhere for no confidence or whatever. I already got that growing up when I saw what a man looked like. I saw what he do. I saw how he treat his wife. I see how he put food on the table. I seen all that. So that's the important thing. And at the end of the day, I think Shedeur will get through it. All right. Let's get to some Cavaliers talk. Let's get to some Cleveland Cavaliers talk. Let go. Oh, you know what? You know what? Listen, this is wild, man. Cleveland Cavaliers. Where my banner at? Where is my banner at? Let me get it popping.